Do you remember the year 2012? Everyone was talking about the end of the world, but it didn't happen. Or did it? On July 4th, 2012, at CERN, something occurred that changed everything. Scientists announced the discovery of the Higgs boson, the particle that gives mass to everything in the universe. It was the moment physics confirmed the existence of a field that shapes our reality. But what if it wasn't just a scientific breakthrough? What if it was the trigger that rebooted the Matrix? The Large Hadron Collider, the most powerful particle accelerator in the world, reached record-breaking collision energy in 2012. Energy levels never before achieved by humankind. What if that moment caused a glitch in the system? The Mayan calendar predicted the end of an era on December 21, 2012. Many feared an apocalypse, but instead, the world shifted, and you felt it. The symptoms of a Matrix reboot. Memories became blurry. People around you felt familiar, but strange. Time began to flow differently. You had this feeling. I've been here before, but something's off. What if the simulation crashed in 2012? What if you died in the previous version of reality, and now you're living in a new one? You're no longer who you were. You're an updated version, in a new matrix. And now, you're beginning to wake up. You feel the fracture between who you were and who you are becoming. This isn't the end, it's the beginning of a new era. One viewer shared, her old black and white printer suddenly produced a color copy. She was so shocked she couldn't explain it and called it a glitch in the Matrix. A guy was showing his friend a Lego spaceship and saw him take the wings apart. But a moment later, the ship was fully assembled again, and the friend claimed he hadn't touched anything. Another person recalls how a drop of sauce fell on his pants, but after carefully looking for it, he couldn't find it. The drop had simply vanished. Some noticed that time on clocks had sped up, like in childhood. Counting 1, 2, and calling it a second no longer works. Seeing the same numbers on the clock? Almost everyone has experienced that. And I won't even start on quotes from movies, cartoons, or Pikachu. A subscriber wrote me about the Singer sewing machine. I was shocked. Now it's spelled with a C, Sincere. Hans Christian Andersen is now Hans. And these glitches are happening more and more every day. But what do you remember? It's been 13 years since 2012, but they flew by like a single moment. Many people feel that time has sped up. Events are compressed. It feels like we've woken up in a different reality. Technology has evolved at an incredible pace. Smartphones and social media spread everywhere. Artificial intelligence developed rapidly and became integrated into daily life. Digital dependency increased, and the way people interact changed. There were psychological and social shifts too. Many report constant déjà vu and repeated events. Rising anxiety, a growing sense of uncertainty. The boundary between the real and virtual began to blur. Since 2012, the world has undergone drastic changes. Events move so fast it feels like time has been erased. We live in an era where reality and simulation blend, and our perception of time and space is distorted. We no longer live in the old rhythm. We've woken up in a version of the world where a day feels like an hour and a year feels like a week. If you can still feel a real second, you're human. If not, you've already adapted to the Matrix. You sense that the world is different, but you can't quite explain what exactly has changed, you just feel it. This is not the world you were born into. The faces around you seem plastic. The emotions feel scripted. Conversations sound like a program. People greet each other but don't look you in the eye. They smile, but don't feel. They ask, "How are you?" but don't listen to the answer. You didn't wake up to your life. You woke up inside a boot sequence. After a reboot. You no longer exist in the old reality. You were uploaded here. Into a copy. Into a simulation. Version 2.0, where everything is slightly off. But why? Maybe to observe your reactions. To erase your memory and watch you. To give you a chance to realize you're not living. You're replaying a script. And you've started to feel it. Your emotions are duller. Joy is weaker. Tears are harder to release. You see people under a kind of hypnosis. You look into a stranger's eyes and see no life. You try to touch, but feel emptiness. You hear laughter, but it doesn't warm you, as if you're surrounded by NPCs, characters with no depth. And you ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Because you're one of the few who preserved the signal. You are alive inside dead code. You walk down the street and see stage sets, you eat food and taste nothing. You talk to people and it feels like a monologue. You feel this isn't the real world. It's theater. And you are the audience. Numbers repeat. Objects appear out of nowhere. You think about someone and they call. You sense danger and it happens. You've started noticing synchronicities. You've begun to see the structure. You can no longer pretend everything is fine. You can't laugh at empty jokes. You can't play someone else's roles. You've changed. And there's no going back. So here's the question, who's still asleep? Those who live on a schedule, but ask no questions. Those who believe any news if it's on TV. Those who fear silence. Those who react, but never reflect. They are inside the matrix. They don't see the backdrop yet. And that doesn't make them bad. It makes them asleep. But you woke up. And now you face the real question. What will you do with the awareness that this world isn't real? Maybe we were placed here on purpose. So we would find the exit not through escape, but through awakening. Through realizing this world and building our own world. Individually. Because everything points to this. Every event in your life, whether good or bad, you project it through your focus of attention. We can't change other people. We can only change our consciousness. And then you begin to notice what happens outside doesn't really matter. But before, you spent all your strength on it, your energy, your emotions, you were feeding the system. Maybe the glitches in the matrix aren't glitches at all. Maybe they're hints. And those who notice them are the awakened, the ones they were meant for. The matrix sees the awakened, and it starts handing them keys. Keys for consciousness, keys to awareness, keys to understanding how to navigate your own code. You start to see NPCs. You start to understand it's not about ego, not about superiority, not about mentorship, it's about seeing. And many people have started to see, but they don't know what to do. They don't know who to talk to, where to go. So they close off with this knowledge, afraid to say it out loud, afraid they won't be believed, afraid they'll be mocked. But I think it's preparation. The world has been rewritten. Something happened, yes, maybe. Something erased the old version, and we're living in 2.0. And maybe everything we call glitches or bugs are not malfunctions. They're messages. The matrix doesn't lag. It speaks. It gave you one clear truth. You can change your world by yourself. They say, once you wake up, you can never go back to sleep. But I believe you can if you try hard enough. If you turn the TV back on. If you believe what they tell you. If you pretend to be normal again. Watch the news. Discuss the weather. Take it all too seriously. Then maybe you can fall back asleep. Though I doubt it. But me? I'm not going to try. Because if you've ever felt that this world is fake, that there's too much plastic, too many scripted emotions, that you weren't meant to be here, then you've already understood. You can't pretend anymore. You can't play by the old rules. You can't keep feeding the system your attention. You didn't just wake up, you reclaimed yourself. I thank every one of you who heard this, who felt this, who walks beside me. You're not just viewers. You are the signal. Thank you for your likes, for your subscriptions, and for your comments. It means everything. You are the best.